Right. Hello. How are you? Okay, so time to jump back into this again. Yeah, I'm alright, thank you. Not too bad. So basically, the idea is that as I've been away from... Audio sounds good. Awesome, thank you all. Hoping to get one of these little houses done, which are the East Asian inspired ones from Age of Empires 2 again, because their style was really cool, so yeah. And I thought, I still want to make the wonders and some of the bigger buildings like that are shown on this picture, but as I've been away for a little while, I thought I'd come back and do something that's not quite as technical. I say that and probably will screw myself over, and it'll actually end up being really difficult to do, but hopefully not, so we shall see. I will turn the music down a smidge. See how that sounds. Thank you. My stream does seem to be buffering quite a lot. Because I've got it open here next to me. Hopefully that won't cause too many problems. Also hope my stream doesn't crash either. I don't know, everything seems to be going a little bit slower today for some reason, which doesn't help much. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move this... No, let's move that down a tad. And move it to there, so I've got it right next to my little model. Hello mate, how you been doing? Right, let's try and fit this in. I think that space there is about the right size for that door, isn't it? Yeah, it'll do. But yeah, I thought I'd choose this because the most complicated part is probably the these little, I don't know what you call it, is it like straw on the roof? That's probably going to be the toughest part, so I'm going to try and get that out of the way as quickly as, really. It'll save me a little bit of hassle, I think, later. So let's try and do that now. Don't really know how pitched up this roof is. That's about right, I think. But yeah, sorry if I'm a little bit rusty, as it's been a while now, so... Okay, can't wait for you to visit. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I'll be able to, again, soon. I've got to find out when Vic's working. I think. Right, let's move that outwards. Yeah, if I get the straw out of the way, because I can't quite remember how to make it look like that. I think it might take me a minute to get, so bear with. Try and get the rough shape of the roof done. I think that should about do, I think. I don't know, is it shallower than that? I suppose it doesn't matter too much. That's just reminding me to look. Oh, good. Very good. Okay. So then it's got that little offset that you can see there. And put that in. Not too bad. Should be able to scale that up a little bit. Gives that little lip, and then yeah, it'll be this section in the centre here. That is going to be this straw effect that I can hopefully pull off. I've got an idea of how to do it. I did do a quick test run earlier just to see if it would be successful, so hopefully it will be. I've got to make it into a vertex group and assign that. you know what? Let's actually make the... Let's bring that down. How much does it overhang? Quite a lot, actually. Something like that, I think. Then I should be able to... let's think how to do this. If I extrude these two faces upwards... Whoops. Oh, I'm inside my drawing there. On my reference picture even. And then... just do that. And it sort of gives the effect of that bit on the end. I'm not sure what's going on in this bit because it's quite dark. There's a wooden post across here, I know that much. Think how I'm going to do it. That's not going to work, is it? Bugger. Okay. Why didn't that work? This might take a minute to mess about with. Or what I could do actually is just build those as physical wooden sort of blocks on the end after I've done it. Let's have a look. Because it's a beam across there, and I think there's one vertical beam in that bit, and then this is a different colour to the bit below. So yeah, I can just add it later. Anyway, won't worry about that too much just now. I'll try and do some more of this roof. Now, looking at it, is that enough? I think it is. Could probably do with squashing it up a tad. Yeah, run with that. Right, let's give this a go, because once this awkward bit of doing the roof's out of the way, then the rest should be, in theory, a tiny bit easier to do, so let's jump in straight away with that. Got to make basically a single piece of... yeah, I mean, I'm guessing it's hay. And sort of randomise it a little bit. Something like that. I should probably give this a name as well. Also, yeah, I've cheated slightly with the stream because I'm using the base that I made before, just to speed things up a little bit. It's not the most exciting thing to watch anyway, I suppose, making a little base. So, which I call this blade, even though it's not grass, but it's now a blade. I'll hide that down there. Then I need to create a particle setting and hopefully try and figure this out. I really hope this works. If not, I could make it as a separate sort of object and then just make it look like it's part of this house. Object and blade. Okay, that's a start, and then I should be able to go on to vertex groups and assign it to the roof. Like so. Scale those up a tad. Change the randomness a little bit. Now I can't remember quite how to make this so that it doesn't rotate properly. I don't know why I said that. I don't even know really how to describe it. Basically, I need to make these face down the roof. I can't entirely remember. I'm sure it's something like this along here. Okay, that's weird. Don't know why. Right, let's put that back to velocity and hair. I'm not sure. Volume? Faces. Yeah, I really can't remember which option it is here to actually do this. I also don't know why it isn't giving me a preview of what I'm changing, so I have to keep doing this to actually see the changes, which is really weird. Now, there is a chance I could cheat and steal the little house I built for one of my Tomb Raider models and just use the roof from that, because it has a similar sort of roof, because that was another reason for testing it out. But I can't remember how you do this. It's really weird. Dynamic. And yeah, I don't know why it's not giving me a preview of it. I'll go into this mode. No, doesn't do anything. Odd. Is that right now? No, still not making any changes. Still nothing. Interesting. Alright. Now hopefully my stream won't crash. But I'm going to steal the roof from one of my other renders. Or at least hopefully steal it to some degree. Now I know this is quite a full-on file, so hopefully the stream will hack it alright. As long as I don't render any colours as well, that will definitely help a bit. But yeah, here you go. This roof here. What I've done with this is what I'm trying to recreate. I'm hoping if I could just copy and paste it. Now, it's not exactly what I need, because it's already at a weird angle and whatnot. But yeah, that's the kind of effect I need. It's just why that won't do it. I wonder if I can just have a look at the settings on this and see what I've made it as. Because I really can't remember. So I set a length group as well. Okay. Let's try again and just see if I can sort of match it. Might be worth me trying to use the same object as well on it, which is Cube 157, because I haven't named it a proper name. So, object 157, density group, length group. That might help me a bit. Might start getting me on the right path. Okay, maybe not as well. What did I do on this? Definitely made the scale randomness all the way up. I might just have to go through my settings. See if I did anything different. Don't know, I really struggle with these emitters because they don't seem to ever work properly. They seem to be different every single time I do them, even though I use the same sort of process. I don't know if that's to do with how I build the object or what it is, but it's very complicated. It probably shouldn't be. Yeah, it's a shame that that's not worked properly. Still looks ace though. Oh, thank you. Yeah, apologies for this, because I've got to figure out why this isn't working as intended. Because it looks like everything's basically set up the same, it's just not working how I really want it to. And yeah, I just don't get it. It doesn't like to work. I'm just going to start messing around with things and see what happens. It's not completely necessary, I suppose, I need to do it like this way, but it would look that little bit better, which is why it's even more annoying. No, random order. Interesting. Okay, so well, that's doing something. It's just how you make it rotate. Because it's going to be, they need to both be the same side, so making it like that isn't going to help me at all. Does that do anything at all? Not really. We don't want any physics. What has happened there? That's different. Are they all facing in? Oh god, not a clue what's gone on there. So I don't usually play around with this a lot especially when it comes to messing around with like the direction they're facing in. Yeah, we want all that stuff on there. You know what, let's start from the top. Just going to make a simple plane. And I'm going to make it somewhat the right size for this roof. Because then what I can do, scale it down a little bit. Let me have a look at my picture. That might help a tad. Scale it up a little bit that way, and yeah, something like that might actually do. Because I'm hoping that I can then just copy and paste this over the other side with a little bit of luck. Might not be that lucky though. If it doesn't happen this time, I'm just going to carry on with the model, I think, and then I'll like either do it at a different point, or I'll try again later. Depends. It's funny how I said, oh yeah, no, you know, I'll try and start with something kind of simple, and I'm already 20 minutes in and I've barely done anything. Right, we want it renders as an object, and we want my blade that I had before. And now it's just this. Right, that's already better than what I had before. If I spin this around, I might get a bit more luck. So if I just rotate it 180, then they should all be facing downwards, which they are, so that's good. And they are on there, I just can barely see them. Let me go back to this for a minute, and then let's get a few more of them. I want to change this up a little tiny bit, not a lot, just to roughen it up a bit. And we're going to scale these up quite a bunch. And have it overhanging a little bit perhaps. There's something I messed around with up here earlier on when I was playing around with this that actually might help me out a little bit. Where was that? Where was that? Bear with a sec. I swear every time I look at this I find something new, and then when I try and find the same thing again I just lose it completely. My luck. I'm going to change that back a bit actually. Oh no, don't do that. Let's not randomise it. I think that's already... because I made it like wonky, that doesn't look too bad as it is. So I think I'll keep it with that. Just need a bunch more of them. There you go, that's already a lot better. So let's just change up the colour so that I can actually see it. It's quite a dark colour underneath, isn't it? So can just do that. Then just need to put a colour on the actual straw looking part as well. Dark. Oh, it's got a weird colour, isn't it? A little bit redder than that. No, a bit more yellow. Yeah, something along those lines. Can change that around later. Shouldn't be a problem. Just make this a dark brown colour as well for now, because that's going to be needed later on anyway. Yeah, something like that. Right, I can get rid of this one now because I don't need that. That's already kind of served what it needed to. As long as my 3D cursor's in the centre there, I can duplicate this and just rotate it around, because then we've got our straw looking central part of the roof all sorted, and I just need to probably do the tiles next. Again, I find roofs to be the kind of the most difficult part, just because there's usually like some awkward shapes and whatnot on there. Even though the tiles are all random on here, I'm going to make them a lot more or look a bit tidier, I suppose. Hopefully this works. So what I can just do is something like that. Hang on, let me change the... I think that's better. Don't know, it looks a bit off either side, but I suppose it doesn't need to be perfect, so that's fine. We'll run with that for now. If I do this on the top, I should be able to sort of make it look a bit more tile-like. Just bring that in a tiny bit, and then I'm just going to sink that down into the roof. Make it its own object as well, because I can mess around with that later then. Even though there's not really that, it's not underneath here, I think I'm going to keep it through there just because it tidies up the top part of the roof a little bit more, because of how I've done the hay looking part. So I think it's probably better to leave it like that. It's annoying that those bits are sticking through. Oh well, that should be cool. And change out the colour of that. Now I don't know if it's worth to... Let me try and think of the best way to do the tiles. I might try and do this with an array modifier, which I think I spoke about in my last stream, that I should use them more often. Because they do help quite a lot when making these. What is there, about 5 tiles on that side? Yeah. So we'll stick with that. Don't quite know how many are going to fit in here, but just got to make one of these. And use proportional editing to curve it out a little bit. And then we have something that looks a bit like a tile. Helps if I select the whole thing. And then what we can do, hopefully, is use the array to make it look like all of the tiles are slanted on top of each other. Don't know if I'll fit 5 in there, but as long as it looks like a tile, I'm good. Right, let's try this array. So then what I need to do is mess around with these. Not that one. It'll be these two. And should be able to kind of tuck it under there. Like that. That should do, I think. Let's have a quick look at the tile. Let me... Just to fill out the space underneath, I'm going to make an area underneath and then just bring that straight down. Just so that it fills out that space under there a little bit more, if you can see it. Oh, you can't really see it, so that's fine. So then what I should be able to do is just whack this up. Does it overhang the roof? It does slightly. Definitely not that much. Try and mess around with scaling these a little bit. So yeah, maybe something like this. So we'll go with that. Should be able to just apply this. Don't think I need to. Is there anything I really need to change on this once it's done? Not particularly. I could have used an array to do this as well, the sideways part. I'm going to slim that down a little bit on the side. Try and get a few more of them in here. Yeah, that'll do. Cool. If I rotate that up slightly, we should lose some of the roof. Yeah, and it's still got this lip on the end like it does on the actual image. I can probably squeeze that up a bit as well, actually, because that overhangs a little bit more. And the same with this tile piece at the top, that can probably come in a tiny bit as well. Right, so that these are all on the same object, I'm going to just copy all of these. Shift them over to there. Hello Shembingo, hope you're alright. You should have filmed the making of the dream garden pond as well. Yeah, that would have been pretty cool actually. I might do more things like that because that was actually I quite enjoyed that. Especially as it's like some nice chilled zen garden as well. Okay, so we're getting there with the roof, so that's good. I could randomise all the tiles a bit later on if I wanted to as well. Just going to lower those into the roof a bit more. All of the gardens, yeah, exactly. Sorry if I'm a bit delayed with replying as well today, because I have got my laptop that I have my chat on is off to the side, so I can't, it's not really right in my view. I kind of just check it every now and again. Right, I'm just gonna, yeah, I think once I got the roof out the way, everything else should fall in place a little easier. I think it's because it's all these different angles and all these shapes, it's just always a little bit more of a pain. Because I remember with the Southeast Asian house as well, I kind of had the same problem. I want to slightly randomise these. Very slightly. Just enough to make them... Well, it's not really done a lot. You know what? Sod it, I'm just going to leave it for now. Let's make a colour for these. It's quite a, you know, sandy, like bright sandy sort of colour, isn't it? Something like that, I suppose. So what I can do later is go through and change some of the tile colours and just make it similar pattern to the floor, so that it's got like two colours in there, just to make it look a bit more interesting. Depending how it looks on the end, anyway. Right, I should probably do this top part of the roof. So let's get a reference for the middle of the little shack. And let's move this over here. Whoops. I love all the features on the top of all these houses, they look so cool. I think the tiles are a lot higher than this part of the roof, but I think it should do. Also, yeah, I usually wouldn't colour as I'm going along, but I thought I'd just get on with it as I'm going in this one. I might need to make this look a bit more interesting, so that it's not just a big plank. Just rough up some of these side parts a little bit. Let me turn off that. Otherwise it randomises things, which is fine sometimes, but not. I always forget to turn certain things off when I've turned them back on again. Pretty rubbish with that. So yeah, that makes that just look a bit more like a plank of wood rather than just a just a smooth block essentially. Right, these beams are kind of an interesting shape. I've been trying to figure out how to draw these, but again I think I'll use a array to set them out. Is that about the right size? Just got to roughly get it in the right place to start with. Yeah, that should do I think. Although that being said, it has to sit this piece of wood in at the top. So it's probably a little bit bigger than that. And it's also a bit more like that. Try and get it in line with this piece of wood. Right, it can be the same colour as that, which is 37. And I've got to get this kind of... I think it's just a... I think it's like a block this end and then it curves out this side. At least that's what it looks like anyway. Let's try and use this to do that. No, I might have to do them one by one. Try and make that sort of curve. It's probably not quite as big as that. Maybe something like that instead. And then I've got to rotate this around the centre and then fit this beam in the middle. So hopefully that's enough of an overhang on it. And again, I'm going to just slightly roughen up the edges. Just looks a bit more like wood then. I suppose if I just did one of these bits at the top here, then you'll be able to see that when it gets rotated over the other side as well. Something like that. Right, let's add an array. We don't want that way at all. I think it's that way, yep. And I think we want 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. And I've just got to try and spread these out roughly where they need to be. So you've got these ones that sit slightly further forward than the others. So I did something like this and just copied it over the other side as well, and had them button up near each other. And then there's this little groove down the centre just got to try and get those in the same place. Again, I could have mirrored this over the other side to make my life a lot easier, but I seem to like doing things the difficult way, so that's where I am now. Let's rotate it round that way. Yep, that's in about the right place. Doesn't matter if the angle's completely correct. Cool. Let's grab the house again so that we get the beam in the centre. So this is like a round piece of wood, I think. If I'd put 7 on that so it looks round but still low poly. You can just rest this in the middle and try and out there. Probably doesn't want to be as thick as that. Wait, what would it be? Scale in that direction. Yeah, what if I just scale it down first? Just get it, making it look like it sort of sits in between them. And then I can do the bits on the end in just a sec. I think that's in about the right place. Just extrude these faces. And again. And one more time, I think. And what I'll do... hopefully about equal either side. Yeah, it looks like it. If I scale these down just a tiny bit. And then we want to raise it up a bit as well. And just rotate these end bits to make that look a bit more... yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. Can make them part of the same thing. Oh wait, maybe not. Need to apply the arrays first, otherwise it'll cock up. Okay, that's all part of the same object now. Might darken that wood a little bit, you know. Yeah, that's better. Fits in a bit more now, I think. Okay, the house colour itself as well could probably change, but I'll get to that. So, what's probably the next best thing to start with? Maybe if I get the details done on the house. So there's going to be that wooden bar at the top here. The other one I'm just going to put in by hand at the end. The details like the lights and that I can do later. Right, let's bring this down to, it's below halfway. We want, no, we don't want that yet. We want another one there, another one there, and another one there. That gives us this part, somewhat. I think I'm going to bring these down a bit more. You see, left it on again, damn it. Oh, whoops, that doesn't help. Let me select the entire thing. That's better. Okay, then I need to put in 2 beams there and there, which again I might put in... what's the best way of doing that? How do they... they're the same level as... oh no, they stick out further than those little ones, don't they? Huh, what's the best way of doing that? Might just do this the by eye way again, as most of my stuff is. Yeah, that should do. Don't think it goes all the way up to the roof. I think it's just that beam around the top, which is this part, which I can extrude out. So we've got that one. We don't want that in there or there, and we don't want it inside either. I want to keep the inside. Or would you see it inside? I suppose you would, wouldn't you? It doesn't need to come out a lot. Let me redo that. So all of those probably want to be extruded the same amount, but not too much. Just enough. And then you've got these as well. Which I'm going to do like that. And what I can do, which isn't the best way of doing this, but I'm just going to grab those two and extrude them through the bottom. Which is a little bit rough. You can set these back a bit to get rid of those faces clashing. Oh, what's gone on there? I think I might have selected something I didn't mean to. You know what? Scrap that. Scrap that. And come back to that. So you got one beam straight in the centre, I think, and then you've got these two side ones. Let's just make a beam. Just bolt it onto the side then. Just tuck that in a little bit. I don't know how wide these are. Not very, are they? No, they're quite thin. And if I just make these all on the same object, I can edit them all later if I want to. Because my East Asia one I didn't really mess around with too much at the end, like sort of roughing it up to make it look a bit more, you know, aged and weathered. Kind of left it alone for the most part. So I don't know whether to do that with this one or not. I think because this one's got a lot more sort of clean edges, it might not look as appealing when the main bulk of it's done. And yeah, like last time as well, I'm not going to do the back part as well, just from this angle. I think those big circular wooden posts as well I could probably do on the same layer. They're like the big corner pieces, which are quite big actually. They seem to be quite well hidden. Can you see any of it poking through? Don't think so, so that's good. That's a winner. And then to hide those little bits around the door, we can just do that. Another pillar there. And one over here. Tucked in slightly more than that. These might need moving, but it's fine. We'll get there, we'll get there. Yeah, I can't really figure out what the colour of this wood is. It's the same colour as this, isn't it? That I've got here. So, which I think was 35. But it's not that colour. It needs to be a bit more yellowy, I think. Don't know, it takes me ages to get these sorts of colours. There is an eyedropper on here, I think, isn't there, to actually get the right colour. I really can't remember where it is, though. Is it on here somewhere? Maybe not. I'm sure there was. Never mind, I can get it there or thereabouts, I think. It seems to be... I think maybe it's just lighter rather than different colour. Either way, I can probably mess with that more at the end. Should probably just keep on building. Right, let's change the actual colour of the house. So let's get these panels. We'll make these all white. Yeah, again, don't need to do that side. Let's just do the inside where you might see through the door in the camera. No, you probably won't actually, but it's fine. marked these as well. That'll give me a better idea where to move those posts to later. So this is just white, isn't it? Bit of a little bit, not quite completely, but could they stay where they are? No, they do need to come in a little bit. They do need to come in a tad. Something like that should do for now. Cool, I think that looks pretty cool so far. Quite happy. I can do the same thing with these white bits actually and add a grey to it, like I've done with down here. Which might be the best way to sort of decorate this at the end, rather than going through and changing all these pieces of wood to look more like, you know, aged wood. Might be better to just do it that way. So this is going to be the coloured part, where you'd usually choose one of those 8 colours. So if I just make that, I think I've got some little characters here that are this red, which is 13, so we just change that to that. I don't think I'm going to leave it red. I might make it this, yeah, this cyan colour in this one. I think for now I'll leave it bright, because I can then tell exactly what parts are the coloured parts and what parts aren't, so we'll leave it like that for now. That's the gist of the main body of the house, isn't it, really? Other than the light on the end, some of the bamboo poles, sticks. It's just this front little porch area to do, and the planks inside as well. So for these poles I'm just going to copy some more of these out, and I can just scale these down. So how far do they come out? Probably, what is it, half of the house? Maybe to there. And they are nowhere near as tall as those ones, so probably about that sort of size. And if we go on individual origins and scale them down, because they're a little bit smaller than those big ones holding up the house as well. Then I'm trying to figure out how far they stick up past this central part. It's probably about there, isn't it? They should do for now anyway. I can always change it later. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so I need some more planks of wood. I'm going to do these as actual planks. I could have just made one big flat plane, but I think I want to make these actual planks, because you can clearly see them a bit better in this one. I've just got to roughly fit those in. They should sit on the corners of each of these posts, I think. And then just make this a nice, quite a orangey colour, isn't it? Got a little bit more red in there as well. And they're a lot darker than that. Yeah, we'll stick with that for now, that should do. And like I did with the plank on the roof, I'm just going to rough up some of these edges. So they look a little bit more interesting than just planks. I might be trying to go into too much detail doing this, because you might, once it's decorated with all the pots and all that sort of stuff, you might lose some of these details, but at least they're there then. Raise that one up a little bit, just so it's got a little notch out of it. Cool, and then I can just use those again for the steps as well, just squash them up instead. That was about 6 or so planks there, I think. And I'm also going to use my array modifier again. I think I'm making up for the amount of times that I've not used this. Using it all the time now. We just want a tiny little gap in between them. And I want to carry those through inside, because when you're on the camera you will see inside. I need one more. Yeah. So it's something like that instead. Let me make that a bit darker. Yeah. Okay, so what I can also do is just copy this, and that's going to look weird for a minute. I can use the array modifier again to make the steps as well. And the steps are about as wide as the doorway. And all I need to do is just adjust what I did before. So this time it'll be in the... Ooh, what's going on there? Ah, it's because it's the same object. So I've really cocked this up. Right, let me copy that. Just this one, duplicate that, make that there. Make that a little bit smaller. And make it its own object. Right, now I can adjust this and it shouldn't cock me up too much. Well, we don't want that many things on it either. Let's just add it again. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Just need to, not that one, always use the wrong one. Just need to set this down. So how many steps are there? 2, 3, 4, 5. So my house is a little bit too short. Hopefully I've selected all the objects here. Yeah, I have. And I can just... It's quite low to the ground, that last step. That's better. And I've just realised I've missed a post that sticks out just under the centre. Similar size to these ones. But it's tucked underneath the house instead. So that will go about there. Cool. Let's do a save. Oh, we're getting there with the main bulk of it, so that's quite good. I don't know if these posts here are square or circular. I think I might just do them circular just to save me some time, and I can just use these ones. I think I made a mistake there. Yeah, I did. I just copied the wrong thing. So these are slightly set into the wood. They're more like that. And these steps are going out too much as well. I think I need to change those. That's fine, I can do that in a sec. The beams going down the side of the steps need to overhang them slightly, so if I position those somewhere around there, that should be good. And then yeah, I need to mess with this a bit. So let's thin those out a tad. And then we need to tuck them down a bit and adjust this. Not that much. That's better. Yeah, that's cool. I need to show there's something under there as well, so that it looks like they're supported. Otherwise, it might look a bit naff. I think even these are on circular posts at the front here as well, and then they're just square lights on the top. But those ones are more like these. They're a bit thicker. And they're right on the corners, about there. I don't know what this angle is going to be. I'll figure that out later. I'll just make those a little bit bigger. Cool. Bring that back a bit. Yeah, it's not looking too bad, because the way I can do this front part... Oh, there's beams in between these as well. I didn't notice them. So let's quickly do those. Should be able to just copy these ones, the square looking ones, if it will let me select them. There we go. Now I can just squish those down and put them in there. Again, I'm just going to do that by eye. Let's get rid of this one. Get rid of that one. Let's get this one again. Move that over there. Cool. And then what we got these posts around the side as well. I might just make them on the same object, to be honest, as the as what all these other posts are on. Oh no. Let's get rid of that. Is that all good? Yes, fine. Right, let's are these square or are they that sort of shape? I think they're more like that. Just trying to figure out how these sit, because I think they sit roughly where these bits line up. So if I put that in there, then it's already roughly where it needs to be, because they basically match up with these, I think. Not quite perfect, but that's fine. Just get them there roughly. Yeah. Might need to move those out a tad. Come on, let me select those. Not that. That's the only problem with working on the same object. Hopefully I can do it this way. Yeah, there we go. Shift those over a little bit so they slightly overhang, and then they're more central of both of those pillars. Yes, better. Do the same that side. I should be able to use these as the banisters for the stairs as well. It's not going to quite work, is it? It's fine. I can just shift those forward, even if they do intersect with those top steps. That shouldn't be a problem. I think that's a bit different to how it is on here, but or how it is on the original. Sorry. Just get those about central. Yep, something like that. Well, it's looking like a little house, so that's a start. These ones are a lot lower. I'm curious what this looks like in comparison to one of these little figures. I think I'm going to need to up the scale quite a lot right at the end. That's fine, there should be room to do it. There's still quite a lot of room on the little base, so that's fine. No, we want that one and we want this one. And hopefully I can just adjust these so that they look like banisters. Should be able to just slot that into there, and then just move these where it needs to be and lower it down. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I suppose. Just make sure it's the same the other side. Yep. These pillars here are a little bit thinner than the other ones, and they're also much lower down. And I'm guessing it's going to be the same for these two front ones, because the lamps sit on the top of them. So they're going to be more like that, I think. So might need to tuck the stairs in a tiny bit, so that that looks a bit better. Yep. And then one last thing with these planks. I can use these to make it look like there's something underneath the stairs, supporting them as they go up, so that they're not just floating. So that it's more like that. Just try and make it so that they don't. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Maybe not. No, that's completely rubbish. It needs to be like that way round, isn't it? As long as it's not sticking out the top of any of the steps. Cool, that's the gist I'm going for. Let's get another save down. Now I've no idea why this pole, don't know why I said it like that, don't know why that pole's moved. Let's shift that back over here. That's the only problem with working with so many things in one object rather than doing them all separately, I suppose. You don't really know what you're moving or what you've last selected when you go back onto the object. I want to darken these tiles a little bit first as well. Yeah, that's better already. I think that's my problem. I always like to make things really bright. Okay, this little shack over here. I'm not sure entirely what's under here. I think it's either a well or just a big, some sort of big bucket. Either way, I'm just going to make it like a big round thing. I'm going to make it look like a bit like a squashed barrel, I think. This shack shouldn't be too difficult to do because I've already built most of the stuff that I need to use to make it, so I can steal the tiles off the roof as well. Yeah, should be able to do that. That shouldn't be a problem. And just put a little slant on it, and then again with the planks, I could just use these ones that I used here and just scale them up differently, which is these ones here. Yeah, I think that'll work. There's enough stuff in this little shed and on the roof and whatnot to make it look a bit more interesting. So I'm not too worried about that. Yep, something like that. Now the actual underside of the roof, it looks like there's these circular, like these underneath the roof, so if I lay the tiles down first, then I can sort of see how I could position those afterwards. So we just steal a few of these off the roof. It might be worth me making those their own object, and we want medium point now, and can change the origin of that to that. Yeah, you got this sort of arch underneath the tile, so I could use that to slot the these wooden poles in underneath. Need to get rid of this like little bit that I've made under them though, or just tuck that in a tad. Cool. That's not too bad. Just needs to be. I'm trying to think. You've got, I think, another one of these sort of square ones going across the front here. And it does very slightly overhang, but not by a lot. I used the array before, but I'm just going to do this the lazier way. And then just square that up a tad. And we can grab all of these tiles then and just move them and then copy them down, so that we get that kind of look. Now I've got to dress this with I don't know, I think I'm going to try and do it like it's a snowy environment. I think that'd be kind of cool, because the last one was sort of a hot looking environment, so just to change it up a bit. I'll steal one of these planks. We can whack this in here. Doesn't have to be perfect. I suppose I can make it look like it's slotted into the top of those circular ones. I just need to put something down the side to cover that space up a bit, just to try and give the illusion that the tiles aren't just floating in midair. So you can whack this under here. shift that up. So we got a little bit of a support there. Don't need them on the other side because you're never going to see that. And if I put that up a little bit, what I can do is just grab some of these circular ones. And what was it on the drawing? You've got 5, I think, underneath there. Ah, that's the only problem. Hopefully they'll sit sort of underneath. I just need to make something look a bit more interesting on the end of them. Okay, let me do something like that instead. No, not enough. Maybe there. Yeah, that's about right. Cool, that's all the main structures done. And again, with this pillar over here, what do I keep doing? I bet secretly, all over this model, like inside the house and that, I bet there's loads of things I've accidentally copied and just have cocked it up. Never mind. Never mind. How are we doing for time? Right, I've been doing an hour, so not too bad. I might try and do this well-looking thing underneath here, which I'm just going to do as a big circular thing, naturally. Might give that a few more. You know what? Let me place it first, then adjust this. Just give it a few more faces. See, like this bit here, it makes it look like it's wooden with like almost like a metal brace around it, a bit like a wooden barrel. So I don't really know what's going on here. So if I make it look a bit like either or, I suppose I'm safe then. That being said, from that angle you can see straight into it, so maybe I do just need to make it into a barrel instead. A really big barrel. Or just some sort of support kind of thing. Some sort of brace for something else. Right, I don't really know what colour to do for that just yet, but those things can come later. Just got to randomly pick some colours to put on it for now, and I can just switch and change them as I like later on. Don't think there's anything else really like that in this scene, is there? I could give this a lid, so then if it is a well, it's like it's just been shut off for now. Make it look like a bit of a stone plinth. And I can just put some decorations on top of it. And then it can be anything, I suppose. Because it does look like this bit here looks like a stony colour, as if it is a bit of a lid. Because of the gap around it, it just throws me as to what it actually is, so I'll go with that. And I'm just going to dress that differently later, because you've got loads of different pots. So some of these pots that I make out here, I might just copy and dress around this back part where you can't really make out what's where. So if I just do some of these big stone pots out the front here, squash them down a tad. Whoops. And we can just do that. And bring that part in. And make it actually have some sort of inside to it. Most of these bowls look the same, so I could just get away with scaling them up and down and all that kind of thing, rather than making a whole new thing again. So that goes about there. Let's scale that out a bit more. That's a bit more like it, I think. And they're a very slightly sandy, stony grey colour. And yep, I could just copy these a few times, scale them up a little bit, just to make them look slightly different. Rotate them a bit, make them look like they're sort of roughed up. Got one in the back there that's a little bit wider than these other ones. There's one there as well. Can't really make it out, but I think there's one behind there. I think that's it for those types of pots. We've got, is that two? It looks like two boxes with some sort of plant growing out of them. I think there's like a bucket of carrots, some little wooden logs. I think these are all leaves that are scattered everywhere. But I think I'm going to make mine, yeah, snow instead. Right, let's do another save, because I don't want to lose everything that I've done already. I wonder if I can just copy this and get away with scaling it right down. Does that kind of look like a barrel? I suppose it does. If I get rid of that and scale out the middle using this. Look at that, I'm well happy with that. It actually looks like a barrel now. Let's just sit that on top of there. Like it sort of looks like. I'm going to dress it with a tiny bit more than what's actually there. I'll put another one on there as well. And you got this bucket at the front. I need to do these like flower pot looking things. Don't know, there might be some sort of other edible plant that they've got by their front door. But I can't really tell, so if I just make it look a bit like a box, which if I just inset all the faces, which it doesn't want to let me do. Select the whole thing, inset the faces so they're all the same either side. Make it look a bit like a crate. And then this top face though can sit further down, and then I just need to squash it that way a bit. And so it's that sort of shape. Can bring that back up actually, just have it a little bit lower than the rest. So I've got two of those sitting there. I think I'll do all the plants at the end. Or all of the leaves and everything. Just so they're a bit different, just rotate them slightly so that it's not quite perfect. We can put a colour on this as well. Which just needs to be another very orangey wood colour. A little less orangey than that. Cool, that's me two little bucket things there. I suppose I could colour those because it does look like there's some sort of plant growing out of them, so that's what I'm going to run with. Make it look like there's some sort of dirt in the top. So that should do. Once all the other stuff's decorated around it, they'll make those look a bit more interesting as well. Right, let's do the thing with the carrots in it. I'll scale the whole thing down first a bit. I suppose it's that kind of shape. Yeah, I can just fill that with carrots then. And then it just needs some, I guess, braces around the side. And again, this is quite a dark reddy brown colour. darker than the others, I think. And even the braces around it look more like wood almost. I don't know if that's right, but it's a lot darker. And we can sit that by the front door. So it's something like that. It's about the right size, I think. More like that actually, and then these boxes actually are much smaller than that, aren't they? Select those on their own, bring those down a tad, and squash them in a bit. Yeah, because they're further over, and when you've got the bamboo going up here as well, that blocks the sight a little bit. You've got another one of those boxes out the front as well here, so I can just copy one of these and do exactly the same thing. In fact, I think one of those is what that is, isn't it? They're just thinner rather than wider, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So that can sit at the front here. Like that, and hopefully, actually I think that's quite a bit bigger than that. Please do not crash, it's just froze on me. Oh, that's all good. We're good. So yeah, that will sit there. These little rocks and stuff I can do later. The bamboo I've got to do. Pretty much all of the pots are done. The lights I need to do. Maybe I should do those next because they might take a minute to do. So let's see what we're working with. So it's just a little box in the centre, and you've got a bit that comes out the bottom that's like that, and a similar thing on top. Got a slight little curve in it. We grab these ones and scale those in. Do the same with those. Whole thing can go up a bit. I'm not sure what's on the top, but I'm just going to make a little bit to finish it off on the top. And then these these four, can't count, can be inset like that. And then they can all be coloured to, because like these colours on these lights are the same colours as what these bits around the edge are, so I suppose I need to set it up like that really. It's alright though, we're getting there. I think it was definitely a good choice to come back with something like this rather than some really big complicated thing, because most of the wonders in Age of Empires do look really cool to have a go at building, but they may take quite a while to make. I can just copy those over. If they're not perfect, I'll just change those later. Apply a colour to them, and then what I need to do is make those the same colour as whatever this is, which is 13. You know what, I might make that cyan colour now. A little bit darker than that. That sort of colour, I suppose. Do another save. Okay, probably should start doing the plants and stuff. Oh, I could do these logs on the front. Can just make those out of these. And if I just slightly adjust the end, makes them look like they've been sort of chopped, I suppose. I don't know how many stacked along here, but it's like 3 rows, I think. So something like that should do. I'm just going to randomise these a little bit, the ones that you'll see anyway, and just grab some of these and can scale those up and move them up a bit. Cool. Kill, kill, kill. Right, that's all good, and then I just need to do... got the other lamp up here to do, so I might do that next. Get that out of the way now. I can't quite see where it's hanging off from, but I might do it just here. I can bring that down, and I'm going to bring that out a tad. Again, not perfect, but I don't think it matters too much on that bit. Now I want this lamp to be its own object, so let's make a cylinder. Let's make the roof. The roof, yeah, well, the top part of the lamp, which is that sort of shape, and I don't know how it's hanging, but it's got just a little sort of wire. So there'd be something along the lines of that. And the actual sort of bulb bit of it itself underneath is hanging slightly below it, which I'm going to have to actually build outwards slowly. Should have probably started from the lamp first and done it the other way round, rather than this way. But it should still get the same sort of effect, so that's fine. Again, I don't really know what the little finish on the bottom is, but if I do something along the lines of that, then we'll be about right. I'm not entirely sure how this looks. It's kind of got stages to it almost. I've got an idea that might work. I'll do the same with these ones and just inset those slightly, and then grab these ones, and if I extrude them all out, and then do something like that, it's kind of like, it's almost like a beehive. You've got like these straps that come along the side. And I don't know how many of them there are, but I can only really see 2. But just to speed things up a bit, I might just make that all, I don't know, will that work? No, I suppose I need to make it like that really. So the best way of doing that is by selecting that and that. And the same with, let me see where this is on the corner, so it'll be this one. And because of how I've made this, it's going to be this one on the back here. So there'll be 3. There might be 4 in it, but that's fine. And then what I need to do is duplicate all those, make them their own object, which is just the lines. And then I need to add a skin modifier to them so that they stand out. And they always go weird like that. Whoops, gone to sculpt mode, didn't mean to do that. And then scale them down so that we get this almost looks like a strap. Other than that one, which I don't know why it's done that. If I mark route straight away, will that work? Let's go add modifier. You know what, I think I might have doubled up some of the vertices, which can usually fuck with things, so if I go to clean up, I can get rid of those. And yeah, I want a skin modifier. Mark route so that I get all three of them at the same time. That's better. That's much better like that. Because then we get those, it looks like sort of the bits that are holding it up, and because they're their own object I can colour them separately to the rest. Which I think is like a steely looking colour. And again, this is the colour of the rest of this is the colour of the building, so it's that colour. Which I think is a bit more washed out than what I've shown. It's more like that, I think. And then these bottom parts I can just make whatever colour I want to. Just make those a metal-y colour. And I think this is silver, isn't it, on the top? A silvery grey colour. Yeah. These bits in the middle might be a bit of an orangey colour, looking at that. Which I can just do quickly, make that a dark orangey sort of colour. Yeah, that's cool. Just squash that up a bit. Now weirdly, I've lost one of those things. Ah, it's because I didn't move it earlier. That's better. There we go. Okay, it's probably not quite the right shape, but it doesn't look too bad, I don't think. So probably the next thing to do is these bamboo poles, so I'll get those out of the way. I can just be lazy with those as well, just copy and paste them all. Let's make these quite thin, and we want just a few areas where I can scale these up. Actually, it's probably better to just do loads of them. And then as I select these edge loops, what I can do is just slightly scale them outwards. And then that will give like the ridges that you have in bamboo. Not sure if that will be a good enough effect on its own. I might need to add a little bit more detail than that, but let's see. It's not too bad. Perhaps once if I grab the centre, and what I want to do is move the whole thing like that. And we can rotate that bit, and we can rotate that bit so that it's sort of some wonky kind of shape. I think once it's scaled down, it might not look too bad. You've got the one longest piece that you got. Which these might be a little bit of a faff to position, but hopefully you can get them about there. It just needs to be resting on the house and the floor. So yeah, that'll do there. Okay. Not a problem. And I can just make those a little bit smaller. I think there's only 3 here. And then what I might need to do so that they look different is just Just adjust this one slightly. I don't like having them so perfectly stacked as well. It'd be better if they're sort of sitting on top of one another. And then we just need to decorate around the edge with a few of these as well. We'll be good to go. So that one needs to sit about there. There's one in this corner that's bent outwards like that, and there's one just behind the house as well. Which can just go there for now. Like that. Right, I think I might, now that they're all placed, I'll put them on the same object. So that I can just colour them all at once, which is a nice yellowy colour. Yellowy, slightly, almost gold colour. Not brighter than that though. Something like that, I reckon. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what colour to do these, to do the wood on the house. I can't seem to find it, so I think I might just have to stick with it and just leave that. Okay, so that's all of the building parts done. Most of the other little decorations. We've got some carrots to do and some apples, but I'll do them later. Probably should do some of the trees, which I think, again, for some parts, just to keep it in the style of my other ones, I might take some of the parts from my other Age of Empires model that I made of the Southeast Asian houses, which are these ones. I've still got one of these to make, but I quite like the fact that I've already got that made and I can steal one of these bushes here. In fact, what I might do is just steal a few things. If I just steal those bags as well, because I can fill that in that space at the back here. Yeah, I've definitely got to scale all of this up at the end, so that it matches with the same scale as the other ones. If I just put these back here, whether you'll actually really see them, I don't think you will, but if I just put them there, then they're there. Yeah, it's coming along quite well, I think. And then yeah, I just need to, there's not many plants in this one, other than the bamboo, which the leaves on the bamboo I need to do separately, and the ones around the house, but these can be, the ones in these boxes can be sort of squashed. Which doesn't look that great actually. Let me redo that. Basically just got to make it look good from this angle that it will be rendered from. And then I can just copy this, scale it down, and then I can adjust the size of the leaves on these trees. so that they're not quite as mega as that. I'll make it so you can see a little bit of the wood underneath. Yeah, it's not too bad, I don't think. Not quite the same. Well, I suppose what I could do if I actually change the scale of the leaves themselves. Let me try and change that. Be on here, won't it? And it'll be scale. Okay, maybe not that much. Scale randomness is on, so that's one good thing. Yeah, maybe just mess around with it a little bit. Just add some extra lumps here and there so it looks like there's a bit more branches to it. And then we can just copy this little branch up here and we can put that in these boxes as well, because I think you can see it on these. Again, just going to use the same one again, but just rotating it should be enough to sort of differentiate them. And this one does look more just like a bush, so they kind of have combined. Pretty much that, I suppose. There's something else at the back here which I can't really see, but it looks like there's something down there. So we'll put that in. That's pretty much it, and the rest is just little bits sticking off the sides of the bamboo. Which I'll do now. And then I can go through and add some extra texture to the roof tiles I want to do, and I think these side panels. And maybe the straw on the roof could use an extra colour as well to make that look a bit more interesting. Could do that wood on the top as well, because that's kind of plain. And I'm going to slightly cheat with this, because what I can do duplicate this leaf, and then I can just modify this to look more like the bamboo leaves. Shift that this way a bit. In fact, if I kept it how it was, and then just scaled those out a tiny bit, let me change that to medium point, and then just scale up the entire leaf so it's longer. Yeah, that will actually work, I think. And essentially what I need to do is just make 3 of these and adjust them ever so slightly so they're not on top of one another. And just mess them about a bit. And then that can be my main leaf to use then, which is pretty much all over this place because you got them all down here. Got to make some little rocks as well. Now, these are pretty small. Might be worth doing this from the camera view so I can actually see that they're getting placed properly. Again, it won't be perfect, but if I just scale them up and down and all sorts of things, then I can sort of get it looking about right. So there's a few that should do for the sides. all of this bit's done. Got the apples to do. There's some rocks around the edge. They can all just be the same thing. I might put something else in one of these pots just to make things a bit different. And then yeah, it's just all the bamboo, isn't it then? I think I'm going to be doing this kind of the long way, but it should work all the same. Try and fit that. Try and fit it in the right places. Something I could try and do, if I use this and say snap to face, that might help me out a bit. Or at least get me near where I need to be. Nah, it's not quite worked properly, but that's fine. It shouldn't take too long to do. How are we doing for time? Not too bad. Hopefully finish around 9ish. If I'm lucky and don't run into any issues. Which can always happen. Might have to change the texture on the bamboo as well, actually. It should be easy enough to sort of just go through and do at the end. Also the scaling as well needs changing quite a lot of the entire model so that it matches with the little figures that I built. It'd be good to have them all kind of the same, rather than all mismatched. Oh, whoops, this one is sort of falling into the roof, which we don't want. Let's shift that out a little bit. Sorry that I'm going a bit quiet doing this bit, it's just it's a tiny bit tedious, not going to lie. I think the actual plants in the game on this picture, a little bit more, there's a lot more going on them. A lot more leaves, so you just add a few extras. Whoops. Won't look quite like it because of how I'm doing these, but you should get the gist. Yeah, I don't think it needs to be much more than that, really. I'll do a save on that quickly. Okay, we're almost there. We've got the apples and we've got these carrots to do as well. So let's do the carrots. Which I'm going to do pretty quickly. Sort of been really lazy with them though. I'm hoping because they'll be small enough that you won't really see all the major details on them, because they don't look great. Kinda looks like a little statue or something at the minute. Right, let's make it carrot coloured. That's a difficult thing to say. And then let's just whack all of these onto being green. And then it will look hopefully something like it needs to. And then when it's small enough, then nobody will be able to tell, other than everyone that's watching. Yeah, they'll be alright like that. I'm just going to place a bunch of them in here. Like so. Now, I don't know how they are actually positioned in the thing. Not as badly as I thought they might be. Sometimes they could have been all over the place, but I think that will work. And then what I can do is also steal some more bits from here. So these stones I want to steal, and I'm going to steal those as well. Just to get things moving along a little bit. The apples can be scaled down a tad, and then I just need to copy and paste these a bunch of times. Like that. And what I could do, just so there's something in one of these pots. There is something in one of these pots, I can't really tell what it is, but I'm going to make this a, I don't know, it could be oranges or something. I might, with some of these stones, kind of what I did with the other one, is just grab some of these and place them around. Particularly out the front here. And then I just need one to use as a small little stone, and I can just mess this about a little bit. To make that its own object, otherwise it's going to mess with all of those. That's the other thing I need to do. Get rid of all of them now, because they're not going to help me. Hello! I don't know when you said that you were back, but hiya. I'm almost there now. I did say I'd hope to be finished by 9. Might be a tiny bit later than that, but almost there. Just going to put some little rocks around. Oh, there's one of those posts from earlier that I accidentally made. And there's another one under the house. I think that's all the duplicates gone. Good. Right, there we go. Doesn't matter if some of them are sort of the same. As long as I just rotate them about a tiny bit, that should change them up enough. And that is more or less the bulk of the house done. Literally just got back on. Oh, that's good. I looked at the right time then. Thank you. Glad you like it. I think what I need to do now is just, if I move this down, I should be able to... Right, let me move that out of the way, because I don't need that anymore. I've got the whole house just sitting there, actually. I'm going to move my base out of the way, and yeah, we can just get rid of that. What's that there? Is that... oh, that's something from earlier. We can hide that back down there. Now, one thing I need to do is scale up the whole house. Just grab all of the objects, and hopefully not leave anything behind like I just did. Is that everything? It looks like it. If I look at it from above, I should be able to sort of fit this on here. Ignore those stones at the front. And then lower it back to where it needs to be. And hopefully it's about the right sort of scale for my little figures. So I just grab him. Okay, he's still way too huge. I suppose it doesn't matter, I can scale those down a tiny bit. But I've filled out the space much better, and then I just need to get rid of some of these stones on the front. Suppose I could just leave that one there, that doesn't look too bad. Okay. I will slightly shift this whole thing down so that more of the plants and that are visible. So I sort of swallowed some of those up there. And then because I moved all these figures down when I last made this file, they are now poking their heads through, so let me just shift those back down out the way. I'll have to replace all of their little things they're holding. Oh, will I? I should be able to just lower these right into position as I've not moved them. Yep, there we go, she's holding her bow there. Don't know what that one's doing over there, but that's fine. Right. We are getting somewhere with this. Yeah, it'll probably be a little while after 9, but I am near the end now, so that's good. So one of the things I did say I wanted to do is try and make it look like it's snowing, so one of the ways I had an idea of doing that was to get rid of that. Actually no, not get rid of it, let's just replace it with another colour, which is going to be 64. So there's snow, but then if I lower it into the ground, it starts to make it look like the snow's melted. Just a little bit. Then one of the other things I can do is just make a sphere. Yeah, I suppose a sphere will work, and just squash it and stretch it and manipulate it a bit. And if I squash that down and make it a bit smaller, that being said, I don't know if I really want to put snow on the wood here, because it's got gaps through it as well, so probably wouldn't have seeped through. Maybe just on the ground. But yeah, the other thing I do want to do is I want to change up how some of these textures look, so that they sort of follow how the ground one looks. So the way I need to do that is go into shading, copy all this information, rather than having to do it again and again for each type of colour, and then I can just go and select the colour. Should be able to paste this and click that there, so now you get this the same texture as the floor is. And the only thing I need to do is go Alt H so that I get my reference picture back. And we need to just try and quickly go through and change some of these colours. So this can be a light colour, and I can make that much darker. Now, you do get these weird patterns on some of these, but I should be able to scale it up enough so that you sort of lose some of that. Because I don't want it too severe. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll try and do the same with the wood. Make that that sort of colour, I suppose. Just got to make it a colour that's visible enough that you can see the change. Yeah, that'll do, I reckon. And then maybe just this side, these side white parts. Did I select the wrong thing? Yeah, I did. I selected the blue colour instead, didn't I? Whoops. I want the white colour. Yeah, thank you for bearing with me on this. We're almost there now. Not much more to do. Oh, that really doesn't look how I hoped it would. Again, if I scale this up enough, it might not be too bad. Yeah, that's okay, I think. Is it worth doing it with the wood panels on the floor? I suppose I could do. Could make those look a bit more interesting as well. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, so I think I'm just about there. What I might quickly do, let's do a save. And I do need to light the scene a little bit as well. I might change the colour of this background. I don't know exactly what to yet, but I might just grab a few of these characters. And just move them up. And I can just scale them down a little bit until, as long as he fits through the door, then I know that all the rest will. So that sort of size, I suppose. They haven't got the most exciting poses, but because I'm not that great with doing the not that great with doing figures, but I do like putting them into scenes just because it gives them a little bit more life rather than it just being a building. There you go, those two live here, and this matey boy's coming to deliver them some food in their little store area. If I sink him into the snow a little bit, then it looks a little bit authentic. Although I'm sure he would be, he wouldn't be doing great if he's walking around barefoot in the snow. But it's fine. I'll have him doing that. Let's grab one more as well. Make her about the same size as her. Which is just too small now. About that size. I suppose they can be different heights and sizes. It doesn't really matter. But just to decorate down here as well. A little bit. It's the only problem because I made the floor rough. They can kind of sink into the ground, so that's not great. Okay, I want to try and quickly do some lighting on it if I can, because at the minute it's very much dark. Let's get a sun in there. might change this background colour. I don't know what to. That being said, because it's snowy, if it's a cool sort of blue colour, it probably will look a bit better. We can whack our sun all the way up and put a bit of a yellowy tinge on it. And I think, like I did with the last one, I'm going to put a light inside the house as well. Just a little point light, I think. We make that some sort of warm orangey glow. I think as well, just so that it looks like there's something inside the house. If I just put something in there, then it looks a tiny bit more lived in. Yeah. Don't know how bright I want my sun, but this background colour, I don't know. Still don't know what to do with this. It was that kind of colour before. I don't know, I always like blues. I think blue is like always a good one to go with. I don't know, really. I might have a little play around with that. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm going to call it there. So that's basically the main thing. I'll probably get a proper render together at some point. And I think I'll probably post that after my... Actually, no, I could post this one on Twitter soon. But yeah, I'll probably go away and get this rendered now. Just because I feel like if I render it on stream, it will... yeah, it'll kill my PC, so yeah. Those carrots, they are really big. I've just quickly noticed that. They are absolutely massive in comparison to the people. So I might just scale this whole thing down. Grab that one as well. They still might be a bit big, but they can be just, yeah, giant carrots, that's fine. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. I'm hoping to sort of get back into streaming a little bit more. I definitely want to carry on doing more Age of Empires stuff. I just really like building these little buildings, and I think there might be some more Red Dead stuff coming as well, because I kind of want to make that a bit of an ongoing project as well, building Valentine, so we shall see, how everything goes. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully you can join me again soon. So, catch you later. Bye.